degrees. Today it's about 70, and I'm sitting here looking at one of these flower pots down here, and I'm seeing some of the plants beginning to start uprooting. So spring is not far away, and as crazy as it is, the football season really isn't that far away. I know I sound crazy, but right now the football season is 17 weeks of games for each team, but most of that time is really the build-up of the season. It's the build-up between, it's 3 games, and if you actually take those 3 games, 3 hours, it's really more about 45 minutes of actually plays on the field. It's not really much to a football season. So it's really the talk, the conversation, it's the hope, it's the trash talking that really makes football. And if you believe that, then you have to understand that this time of year is just as important as it is for the games. This is the change in philosophy, the change in the coaches, the change of players in different locations. This is hoping that when you draft a guy, he turns out like Micah Parsons as opposed to Daniel Jones. That you actually get a player that is a franchise changer. Or when you pay a guy a boatload of money, that you're going to get dividends in return for the money that you put out for him. This is literally where the season is won and lost right now. Right now, what's going on in the combine, trying to get into these guys' head to find out if they're a team player, if they're there just because they're really good, or if they are actually a NFL gym rat. There's so much unknowns that are out there and that you're dealing with that it's just incredible. And so for a team like Washington, okay, and I don't really think that we have a whole lot of room to talk because we haven't won the Super Bowl since the 90s. Let's be clear here. But at least we've had success in our division. At least we've had more hopes than, say, Washington. Washington seems like they are only getting opportunities when everybody else is literally scraping rock bottom. That Tony Romo's got to be out, or Zeke Elliott's got to be gone, and that Dak Prescott's got to be out, and everybody else has to just be bad. And right now, teams are scrambling for quarterbacks. You have franchises that are dreaming of saying, let's get the game-changing quarterback. Let's swing for the fences. Let's go for the Russell Wilsons, or let's try and get the Aaron Rodgers. But the reality for a team like Washington that said, we're going to do what we can. We're going to be trying to get a quarterback, and they have literally have a list of 42 potential quarterbacks. Let's be clear here. Out of the 7 billion people in the world, there's not 42 good quarterbacks out there, period. There's really about 15 that are game changers. And right now, teams are realizing it's not that easy to get a quarterback. So I think what you had originally was the thought that teams would be getting rid of a lot of guys, that the Jimmy Garoppolos, that the Aaron Rodgers, the Russell Wilsons would be kicked to the curb. But because of what you look at right now in the draft, if you're saying, I'm going to get rid of one of those guys and start all over, there's not a replacement in kind that you can just go get. This is not, you can go to Walmart, you just grab a quarterback. They're not there. So you're having teams now. Aaron Rodgers' situation may be the only one that's really fluid, where there might be a quality quarterback that's moving. But I think teams are having second thoughts about the Aaron Rodgers situation. When you hear that he wants to be the highest paid, yet he's not winning Super Bowls anymore, you could understand Tom Brady. Tom Brady has the pedigree of winning more Super Bowl rings than anybody else, and he's free. You say, yeah, let's go get that guy because he's proven. But you look at Aaron Rodgers over the last 10 years, if it weren't for that one Super Bowl, you would almost have to say that he's a choker when it comes to playoffs. I know people will say I'm crazy. Oh, how dare you talk about Aaron Rodgers like that? The truth is, Aaron Rodgers is a pain in the ass. And you have, I think, Green Bay trying to jockey position to say, we did everything we could to keep him, but we really know that he's a flake. We know Jordan Love's not the answer, but maybe it's time to start all over because we've been here year after year with Aaron Rodgers with really good teams and yet failing. Does that mean he goes to Washington? Well, I don't know. If you look at Matthew Stafford and what was given up for him, and now you look around and say, there's not a lot of great players out there. The fact that Mitch Trubisky all of a sudden is getting a lot of play, people are looking differently at Mitch Trubisky. To me, it's kind of like one of those things that when you're in the bar late at night, you had a few to drink, some of the people start looking a lot better the later the night gets because you think, I'm going to go home alone. And that's how you start looking at quarterbacks right now. When you don't have a quarterback, Mitch Trubisky starts looking a lot better than you thought. And then you start coming up with excuses why you can fix him. Oh, it was Matt Nagy. It was the coaching. It was Matt Nagy. We can go ahead and work with him. Man, he's got skills. Look what he did in college. You start looking at a guy like Carson Wentz and saying, you know what? Carson, just Doug Peterson didn't know what to do with him. I can fix him. That's the thought. In reality, they're still bad quarterbacks. And if they're going to a team that doesn't have everything in there ready to go, you're going to have the same results. We thought Carson Wentz being in Philadelphia that the Eagles team was just bad and that Carson Wentz just didn't have the talent around him to be successful. Well, he went to a team that had talent around them, a great defense, and was in the playoffs the year before, and then he ends up losing to Jacksonville in a must-win game. In fact, going down the stretch, he didn't have more than one touchdown pass for 7 straight games. So you realize, yeah, he looked kind of good when we were desperate for a quarterback, but the reality is he's still a clunker. And what teams are realizing is, just like with Russell Wilson, we're not trading Russell Wilson. Because if you're trading Russell Wilson, what are you going to get in return? Yeah, you get a whole bunch of draft picks, but when are you going to be able to get another quarterback? They're not there in the draft. They're not there in free agency. You've got maybe Jimmy Garoppolo, who is getting shoulder surgery and won't be able to work out till probably the middle of the summer. Maybe you can pry Russell Wilson. You think about 4 number ones or something like that. You might be able to get Aaron Rodgers, but hell, he might decide after I get to training camp, you know what, I'm just going to retire. And beyond that, you got the Mitch Trubiskys and the Carson Wentzes. Hell, New Orleans is double thinking Jameis Winston. Well, maybe that guy's not so bad. So right now, teams are thinking the devil we got is better than the devil we don't know. And maybe we just need to stick what we have until something better comes along. And brother, I don't think it's going to be this year. But what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. And I'm glad that my retractable canopy is still working. And now that maybe the weather is beginning to change a little bit, maybe it's time to start doing some more work out here. Now, it is 70 degrees today. Probably by Friday, it'll be 50 degrees. About 30 degrees. Because that's the nature of this time of year. Bad times, bad weather, don't last forever. Probably need to put some oil on that, don't I? By the end of the month, the fish will be eating, which will be nice. Be nice to see my babies again. Hope you all are having a great day. And tomorrow we'll be probably live streaming during the workouts. I know it's glorified workouts. We're literally watching guys run the 40 and stuff. But hey, something to do. And tonight we'll be doing Ladies Night live stream. I got some interesting questions. I want to see if I can spice it up. You got nothing else to do. There ain't no football really going on. Let's go have some fun tonight. 9 o'clock Eastern. I'll see you here. Peace.